I will briefly highlight 3 financial profiles at different life stages, focusing on income, savings, and retirement readiness. First, Miss Yusrina, age 27, is a permanent hotel employee earning around 21,600 annually. She keen to keep 30% of her income and currently on around 20,000 in EPF and LSB. She plans to retire at the age of 60 and expect to live until the age of 80 with a low-risk investment preference. At this age, she does not own any insurance. Next, Mr. Susiani, age 44, is a government clerk earning around 42,000 annually and entitled to pension scheme. Currently, she has 65,000 in saving and plans to retire at the age of 58 and expecting to live until the age of 85. She has a moderately low risk tolerance and she also doesn't own any insurance. Lastly, Mr. Muin, age 58, earns around 36,000 annually with an additional of 1,200 rental income. He plans to retire at 65 and expect to live until the age of 85. With about 300,000 in saving, he adopts a balanced approach to generate income while protecting capital, considering the rise in healthcare costs and family responsibilities.
Assalamualaikum everyone. In this section, I will explain the retirement income need for 3 individuals, Mrs. Yusrina, Mrs. Suziani, and Mr. Muin, using the capital liquidation method and the capital conservation method. The first, Miss Yusrina, is a young professional in hospitality industry who plan to retire at the age of 60 with a life expectancy of 80 years, giving her a retirement period of 20 years. To maintain a moderate lifestyle, she targets 60% of her current annual income as her retirement income. Based on our calculation and the consideration of an inflation rate of 4% and investment return of 6%, Ms. Yusrina will approximately need 577,153 under the capital liquidation method and 1,821,822 under the capital conservation method to sustain her retirement. Next, Mrs. Suziani plans to retire at the age of 58 and has a longer retirement period of 27 years, as her life expectancy is 55 years. Although she has settled most of her liability, she still needs to support her younger daughter, education, manage living expenses, and fulfill her desire to travel. She estimates that 80% of her last drawn salary is required to meet her retirement needs. Using the capital liquidation method, the total lump sum required is approximately 1,618,861, while under capital conservation method, she will need about 4,026,218, taking into account inflation and investment. Lastly, Mr. Muin plans to retire at the age of 65 and has a retirement period of 20 years. His retirement income will cover living costs, medical expenses, and also his daughter's education. After accounting for rental income, his required annual retirement income for 21,600 under the capital liquidation method. He will need approximately 209,606, while the capital conservation method estimates a much higher requirement of 1,144,800 to preserve capital throughout retirement.
In this part, I will discuss the risks and challenges in retirement planning faced by Ms. Yusrina, Mrs. Suziani, and Mr. Muin. First, inflation risk. Inflation is a challenge because rising living costs will reduce the purchasing power of retirement savings over time. Although these 3 individuals have planned their budget in spending during the retirement period, the increases in price of necessities such as food, utilities, and healthcare may make this amount insufficient in the future. If inflation is not properly considered, their retirement saving may not be able to support the desired standard of living. Second, longevity risk. Longevity risk refer to the possibility of living longer than expected. If any of these individuals live beyond the expected retirement period, their savings may not be sufficient to cover living expenses over a longer lifespan. Without preparing additional sources of income, this could lead to financial stress and the possibility of running out of retirement fund. Third, market volatility risk, which is specific to Mr. Muin. This risk exists because a portion of his retirement saving may be invested in market-sensitive assets such as equities. Market fluctuation can significantly threaten the value of this investment. With moderate risk tolerance, restructuring his portfolio towards more stable assets is essential to reduce potential losses during periods of market uncertainty. Finally, health risk. Health risk is a concern due to the unpredictable and increasing medical expenses tend to increase with age. All three individuals may face serious illness or medical emergencies during retirement. In addition, the lack of medical insurance coverage increases their financial vulnerability as healthcare costs will need to be funded directly from their retirement savings, potentially depleting their funds more quickly. Overall, all three individuals have three same risks such as inflation risk, longevity risk, and health risk. However, Mr. Muin faces an additional risk, which is market volatility risk.
For starting, Ms. Yusrina, low-risk investment options are the key. Her investment strategy focuses on capital preservation and steady growth. First, EPF 55% that maximizes her EPF contribution as it offers stable and long-term return with low risk. Second, ASB 30%. This safe investment will help her grow her wealth steadily with competitive dividend. Third, emergency fund 10% is crucial for her to have at least 6 months worth of living expenses. And last one, medical insurance 5%. With no current health coverage, she should allocate a small portion to insurance to protecting her from high medical costs. Next, let's look at Ms. Suziani has a moderate risk tolerance which allows for some growth-oriented investment. First, fixed deposit 30%. This provides her with stable and predictable return which align well with her moderate risk profile. Second, gold 10% until 20%. Investing a MyBank Islamic Gold account helps protecting her wealth from inflation. Third, life and medical insurance 10% until 20%. This is essential for her well-being during its retirement as healthcare costs are expected to rise. Lastly, we have Mr. Muin. A balanced portfolio is ideal. First, equities 30%. He can invest in dividend yield stock for long-term growth and income. Second, bond 50%. Stable and fixed income option will offer security as he near retirement. Third, REITs 10%. This investment will expose him to real estate and provide additional income. And the last one, cash reserve 10%. Is important for him to keep a portion in easy access fund for emergency.
So now, let us move on to the withdrawal strategy that's suitable for each client segment. For a young professional like Ms. Yusrina, the retirement withdrawal strategy focuses on the flexible and financial safety in line with her low risk tolerance. Thus, she is advised to withdrawal based on the actual needs rather than a fixed amount, allowing the adjustment for living costs and health condition, also inflation. The withdrawal should be started from the cash or short-term saving, followed by the ASB dividend, while the EPF fund should be withdrawn gradually to ensure long-term sustainability. Next, for Mrs. Suziani, the withdrawal strategy is supported by her lifetime pension income as a government servant. Since her basic living expenses are covered by the pension, the asset liquidation is only required for additional needs such as travel, umrah, or family expenses. Therefore, she should liquidate the asset with the lowest return first, starting with the fixed deposit. If she needs more funds in the future, she may need to draw from the ASB or unit trust investment. During period of inflation, the gold investment can be utilized to preserve purchasing power and maintain her standard of living. Lastly is Mr. Muin. His withdrawal strategy is to ensure a sustainable income throughout retirement while preserving portfolio value. Firstly, she should rely on the fixed income source such as rental income to cover his basic living expenses. Additional income by need can be met through a systematic withdrawal approach with a controlled monthly withdrawal amount to ensure that the fund are last until at least age of 85. Then, the withdrawal should be followed by a structured order starting with the cash and dividends, followed by the bonds and equities only as a last resort. As Mr. Muin does not have medical insurance, a medical sinking fund should be established to cover future healthcare expenses without affecting daily living needs.